we're going to get away from cornerback here, and we're going to move to our last position on the defense that we see as a need. Josh, take it away.
Yeah, quick shout out to Scotty for holding down the chat, man. Love seeing the interaction, and give us your thoughts on every position that we've covered, and what your thoughts are. I know, Scotty, you've been doing a great job at keeping the conversation flowing. But as far as the linebackers go, right? We know Weaver, it was said by many of you guys already, Weaver uses a 3-4 defense, right? Which emphasizes versatility at the linebacker position, right? Your linebackers have to be able to do everything. They have to be jack of all trades. They don't need to be, if they're great at both, phenomenal, right? But at the very least, you need your linebackers to be, very, very good at both covering and pass rushing, right? Because that is how these linebackers are used. Given the current roster and the demands of his system, there is a little bit of work that needs to be done, right? So who do we have currently on the roster, right? We had a bunch of players that were kind of mid-tier, mid-E type players that are going to be unrestricted free agents or restricted free agents. Brooks is signed through 2026. He was 8th in the league in total tackles. He had 86 solo. Overall grade of 74.3, which is around the 40th in the league at linebacker. So we need to see him step up a little bit, but he was an anchor for our defense at the linebacker position, at playing close to 93%, if my research is accurate, of defensive snaps at linebacker. I think he had 1,049 total defensive snaps played for the season, which is huge. He was everywhere. Backups, Dotson, Walker Jr., Quentin Bell. Dotson and Walker Jr. are unrestricted free agents, and Quentin Bell is a restricted free agent. So of those three, I would love to see one or two of them brought back, right? I think my choice in order would be Dotson is a requirement, and I will get to how to fix this position room in a second. Spoiler alert, Dotson's on that list to resign. And then it's a choice between Walker Jr. and Bell. Honestly, I could go either way. They both kind of, Walker Jr. is better in pass defense, better in coverage. Quentin Bell's better in run defense. And okay, pick your poison. Our lovely draft pick, Tyndall, out of the University of Georgia, is at the end of his rookie contract ends at the end of 2025. So probably not going to stay on the team. And then we signed William Bradley King to a future contract, whatever, right? We'll see what pans out in practice and during the offseason, organized team activities and stuff. And maybe he's on the practice squad. Maybe he's like the linebacker number, insert last number on the team. But there is a type of player that I'm looking for. And I'm actively going against what I tried to not do in all of my positional analysis, which is talk about names. I'm going to give 3 names. I need everyone to understand that in no way, shape, or form am I saying that these are the 3 players that we should go after. I would love for one of them. But, because of how our linebackers play and what the requirements in Weaver's system is for the linebacker position, Dre Greenlaw, Nick Bolton, Zach Bond, right? Those are the type of players, or that is the type of, we need to get a player in the building in those molds, right? Now we understand Dre Greenlaw is 28 years old, coming off an injury, only played, I think, a third of the season. So, he's a free agent. Maybe that's the type of player we go after. Who the hell knows? But that is the type of player, whether it's free agency, whether it's draft, whatever the case is, that I feel best fits next to Brooks, right? So how to fix this position, right? What am I offering up to Chris Greer? Because, hey, look, he's calling me right now. Let me give him my opinion.
Is he?
No, I wouldn't be on this podcast. Sorry, fellas.
Wow.
I would be pushing it though, for whatever that's worth. Draft picks in either rounds, in rounds 3 or 4, right? We don't need to spend a premium top 2 first or second draft pick on this position, in my opinion. But I do think we need to address it before lottery pick flyers in round 6 and 7, right? And this is a deep position in the draft, so we should be able to get a player that fits what we're looking for. I also think we should be going after a higher end free agent, right? On the young side, there are a few that are coming out, Dre Greenlaw, that are a little young, that are a little on the younger side, that we can sign to a longer term contract to allow whoever we draft time to develop, right? So we're not thrusting a Chop Robinson in when he probably wasn't ready at the beginning of the season, and then bashing him for the first half of the season until we all love him, right? I'm thinking in the price range of 7 to 9 million average per year contract, right? Whether it's a 3, 4, 5 year contract, whatever, like that's not for me to decide. And here's why I'm kind of focusing on the higher end free agent as opposed to kind of bargain bin shopping for this position, right? Our D requires that linebackers, our starting 2 linebackers do everything, right? They're good at everything. Kind of like how San Francisco and Kansas City built their linebacker room, right? They're fast, they have speed, they can cover, they're good at their quick decision, they're quick twitch, and they can rush the passer. I'm just tired. At a certain point, we have to start ticking off positions where we're signing long-term viable players on long-term contracts, whether that's cornerback, whether that's linebacker, whether that's defensive, whatever the case is. We need to stop, spackling a crack in the wall and just fix the damn wall, right? So whether that's linebacker, whether that, like I said, whether that's one of the other many positions that we talked about, that is the direction that I think we should go. In my opinion, I think if we can lock up a younger linebacker next to Brooks, I think our linebacker core is set. And then we just fill in with the draft. And then when those players are ready to step down or take a lesser role, we have our young guys step in and take a larger role. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I like it. I don't know how I feel about Dre Greenlaw. He's 28 years old, and I don't know that he's going to regain his previous explosiveness after that Achilles injury. If we're getting the Dre Greenlaw of 2 years ago, sure, great. Yeah, I love it.
Would you rather have Tyndall or would you rather have Dre Greenlaw?
Well, yeah, I mean, I hear you. I hear you. But, and Zach Baun's another guy. Like Zach Baun, he had one good season with the Eagles. I don't see the Eagles letting him go personally. I think the Eagles are going to fight tooth and nail to bring that guy back.
And Nick Bolton's going to reset the market, so we should not be paying him that kind of
money. So as far as bringing in a guy, bringing in a higher price free agent, I just don't know where there's a fit there.
Well, I used the word, and I'm sorry, I just want to make it clear. I use the word higher priced free agent.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that we're breaking the bank for a linebacker in free agency, but I do think we need to spend more than the veteran minimum, right?
Yeah, of course. And I think, Jordan Brooks was a guy that the Dolphins brought in last offseason. I think we can all agree that he was one of our defensive MVPs this season.
Yeah. Hands down.
And if there's another guy out there like that we can kind of bring in on a cheaper deal because of past injury issues or whatever, and he comes in and pairs great with Jordan Brooks, great. Personally, I wouldn't mind seeing Dotson come back and be the starter opposite Brooks.
Hey, great option, right?
Yeah. Go ahead, Anthony.
Sorry, I was going to say, I mean, this position to me is you re-sign Dotson, you re-sign Walker, and then if somebody falls to you in the draft, fantastic, right? Like, and if they don't, well, then they don't. You have your 3, and you can pick up some depth later, and you're fine.
Absolutely. Taylor, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know about the double dipping there, especially if you're getting more younger pieces there at the linebacker position instead of just another vet and then somebody to replace. So the only thing I'd kind of push back on is ideally it would be get a free agent guy on the younger side and then draft about 2 years from now in a somewhat premium way. But that's about it. Like, it is a position of need to me because exactly what you said, Josh, like the way that this defense does operate, the kind of linebackers that you would assume because of Baltimore's defense, because of this past season, the kind of player that Anthony Weaver would like. So, only thing else I want to add is just as a side note, I'm not naming any other names, but it is wild how Greenlaw tore his Achilles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on the sideline in the Super Bowl, right?
Yep. Yeah, he tore his Achilles in the Super Bowl. He's running out on the field. And, terrible injury. I feel bad for the kid. But, again, it's one of those things where is he going to get that explosiveness back that he once had? He's not over the hill just yet at 28 years old, but it's fair to wonder if his best football is behind him. And if it is, we're going to bring in a guy on a contract based on what he was 2 years ago. And he might not be that guy anymore. These are the kind of contracts I want the Dolphins to avoid personally. These are the kind of contracts the Dolphins have paid out to guys in the past and have paid dearly for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, inside linebacker is an interesting position. I don't know what they do. It's going to be interesting to see what they do.